Alright, I'm going to show you my audience first. Alright, I'm Brett Marlatt. I'm here today to talk to you about welfare abuse. Not only of our future economic soundness, but the very soundness of our democratic institutions depended on the determination of our government to give unemployment to idle men. The abuse of welfare program is a serious problem. What is welfare? Welfare is a system by which government agencies provide economic assistance and goods to people who are unable to care for themselves. It's also a form of social policy. It regulates and governs human behavior such as morality and quality of life. It's also a social safety net for citizens. It also has been regulated by the federal government until the 1990s. It was first created after the Civil War to help support veterans and their families. Some states established additional systems to compensate for the lack of coverage of their federal government. After the U.S. stock market crash, more than 31 million people were unemployed. They were unable to handle the influx of the need. It was unable to handle the needy influx of individuals. Most of these people were people who knew how to work the system. They would both take goods and money that welfare offered and then sell the goods for extra money. Some people would purposely get hurt to be on welfare just so they wouldn't have to work. All of these people that did this then passed this on to their children. All of these people that did this then passed it on to future generations, which led to other people and more people who eventually became on welfare. The Social Security Act was then passed in 1935. Welfare was placed under the federal control. It provided unemployment, insurance, and care for the disabled, elderly, and the infirm. The 1960s saw the program increase with the addition of Medicare, Medicaid, and the public housing programs. Today's welfare system has greatly improved. The number of individuals in this program have declined since 1996. The number of people transitioning into the workforce has also increased. Most recipients utilize the system for 3 years or less and then eventually seek job employment in that time. Work requirements were increased in the welfare reform legislation, which was passed in 2006. Educational courses could no longer be counted as partial fulfillment of their work requirement. It estimated that the current welfare system will cost states nearly $8 billion per year. Clinton's Welfare Reform, Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Recognition Act said that today we are ending welfare as we know it. But I hope this day will be remembered not for what it ended, but for what it began. This was a strong message to the poor that the government would only help them if they were willing to help themselves. It put a lifetime of a 5-year limit on their benefits. It set work requirements. It also offered tax incentives, child care subsidies, and health insurance when they left their welfare system. Thus, the federal government issued grants to the states to develop their own welfare systems. For the last 10 years, people on welfare have dropped 60%. A single mother employment has gone up. However, people are not moving out of poverty. How does this affect me? In Allegheny County alone, the total cost of Medicaid is $10.9 million. Child welfare is $3.2 million. The state gives the county only $3.8 million to cover those two programs. There is still $10.3 million needed. Where does this money come from? It comes from our taxes. 56% comes from taxes in 1 year alone. New legislation could put stronger regulations on eligible candidates. A new bill needs to be passed which has stronger and more strict regulations. For example, home visits. Any person who is receiving aid should have these mandated. This would determine who is using the aid for the right reasons. No one citizen should be eligible for aid. Proof of employment or educational enrollment should also be required. This should be required of those able to work as well. Aid should not be given if you are not actively trying to improve your situation. It should only be given to people who are giving an effort to find a job, or in some form make an income. Other guidelines should also be set other than income. Timelines to collect should be instituted. Massachusetts limits welfare use to 24 months within a 60-month period. Charlie Baker of Massachusetts, also a Republican candidate, wants to put a 5-year lifetime limit on welfare. Is this feasible? Imagine this. You walk into the welfare office to get your check. You have to fill out paperwork and bring evidence to self-enhancement. That told how much longer you can collect. Every person has citizenship papers. You then head home to your family. You stop at the market to get food. A few days later, you get a knock on your door. You open it and realize it's an agent, just making a random home visit. They checked around your home. They looked for drugs and expensive items. They made sure that your home was at the level stated on the forms. Thanks to this new bill, people who are in need can get more benefits. Those who abuse the system get less. From this unemployment will drop. Education will increase. This new legislation will help better America. Some people will get benefit cuts. Some people may get an increase in benefits. Just think about the greater good that it will be for all. It will also give more time and work and education. But all must be willing to allow their home to be searched randomly. The benefit would be a stronger sense of independence, more government funds for projects, more intelligent population, safer communities, and in turn it can lead to reduced crime. Benefits definitely outweigh the costs. More people in the workforce will allow for business to come back to the U.S. Government-funded projects will be of a higher caliber. There will be less independence and more independence for their nations. And we will be able to compete with other foreign nations in academics. How can you make this happen? You can write letters or emails to local public officials such as Allegheny County Administrator John Margison or Commissioner of Social Services Patricia A. Schermalizer. You can attend the local board meetings. Meetings are every second and fourth Monday of the month at 2 p.m. They're located at the county office building in Belmont, New York. You can also contact the New York State Public Welfare Association. Without the general population pursuing for change, nothing will get done. With this passing of this bill, we can look towards a brighter future. Thanks. Show you my audience again.